As we continue on our journey through online geometry, we come to this section of the course called Similarity, Congruence, and Proofs, Part 1. And within that section, there is a performance task called Constructions. This video will explain to you what you need to do to complete this performance task. One key thing to understand is that this performance task has two separate parts to it. Part 1 and Part 2. Basically speaking, in Part 1 you're going to do some constructions, and in Part 2 you're going to answer some questions about constructions. These will be two separate documents that both need to be handed in to complete this performance task. This is what it looks like within the Edgenuity program. So you see we've come to the section on Similarity, Congruence, and Proofs, Part 1. And then here's the performance task called Constructions. Of course, first you will do the warm-up and hear the people talk about what's coming next. Then you'll go through the instruction where they show you how to do some constructions with a compass and a straight edge using their software. But these final two sections, this is where you get the two parts of your performance task. Part 1 is going to happen in the section called Preparing for Your Performance Task, and Part 2 is going to happen in the section called Performance Task. So a lot of students are getting confused. They're ignoring the part that says Preparing for Your Performance Task, and they're just doing the Part 2 that occurs in Performance Task. So let me show you how to find both parts so you can get full credit. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this section called Preparing for Your Performance Task now. Again, this is where you do Part 1 of your performance task. Notice this link right here that says click here to download the student guide. This is Part 1 of your performance task. So you want to click that link and it's going to download to your computer. By the way, this performance task really needs to be done on a computer. I can't see a way that you could do this on your phone. Now everybody's computer works a little bit differently, but on my computer, once I click that button to download the student guide, it's showing up here. Now I'm using Chrome, so this is how Chrome works. Internet Explorer or Safari or whatever, it will work a little differently, but you probably know how your computer works. So it'll be something similar to this. Here I see the document that's been downloaded. So I'm going to click on it, and the document looks like this. Again, this is Part 1 of your performance task. This is the first document that you will need to turn in to get credit for your performance task. So I'm just going to scroll through this so you can see what we're dealing with. So you can see they're going to have you do several things. Copy a segment and an angle. Alright, and in step 2 you're going to construct a perpendicular line, and that's sort of broken up into parts. And then in step 3 you're going to construct an angle and a perpendicular bisector, and that's broken up into parts. Alright, so look for this document. You're going to want to save this to your computer in a location where you can find it. Alright, so like I'm going to come over here and hit File and Save. Enable saving. Looks like I have to do it again. File, Save As, and I'm going to pick a spot on my computer. For example, I could put it on the desktop. Okay, and right now it has this random name to it, but I think I'll call it Constructions Performance Task Part 1. Okay, and I'm just going to hit save over here. Okay, so now I have saved this document to my computer in a place where I can find it later. Alright, now I'm back inside the Edgenuity program again, picking up where I left off, and I'm just going to click this arrow to move forward. Remember, I'm in the area called preparing for your performance task. So I'm going to move forward. Let's see what happens.
Construct congruent segments by copying the given segment. Don't forget to take a screenshot of your construction to enter into your worksheet.
Alright, that last thing he said is really important. The whole idea is you're going to go through each one of these activities, and each one of these activities corresponds to one of the things that you're asked for on that document that we just saved. Okay, so again, here's the document that we just saved to the desktop, and step 1, copy a segment and an angle. The first thing it says is copy a segment using the construction tool. Insert a screenshot of the construction here. Alternatively, you can do it by hand using a compass and straight edge. Leave all your markings. But we're going to really try to do it using the construction tool and a screenshot. Alright, now I'm not going to do this activity for you right now because this is something that you should have learned during the instruction part of the program, but understand that you can move this around and do whatever you're supposed to do to copy the segment. Now here I've done something. This is not the right answer. I'm just showing you how to include your answer in your performance task. Now I have a Windows-based computer. And if you have a Windows-based computer, then you probably have a little program called Snipping Tool that I believe is included. Now I've put mine here in the shortcuts because I use it all the time. You could find it by typing Snipping Tool here in the search window. Snipping. And then it pops up. Boom! Okay, so if you're on a Windows computer, you are all set because the snipping tool is what you want to use. If I click this button right here that says New, alright, this is just the last thing that I clipped. So I'm going to hit New, and now anything I draw a rectangle around will be copied into memory. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle around this picture. And now this picture is clipped into memory. So what I could do now is go back to that document that we saved to the desktop. And I'm going to paste the picture right here. Now when I just did that just now, there was a lot of space here between the question and the picture. So I think I can come back up here and just start hitting delete maybe. Okay, it turns out if I come right here next to where the picture is, and I'm going to hit backspace, and now the picture is right up next to the question where I want it. Now I can resize this. See if I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. By grabbing the corner, I can make this a little bit smaller. Okay. Now again, in Microsoft Word, I've got this little icon that shows up. So what I recommend actually is if you pick this option in front of text, boom. I said boom. Alright, I guess it did it. That allows you to put this picture just wherever you want it without interfering with the text. So that's really the best option. So now I've got my answer here pasted onto the document. And basically we just do that over and over again several times. So
construct congruent angles by following the steps to copy the given angle. Don't forget to take a screenshot of your construction to enter into your worksheet.
Alright, so let's pretend that I did that and my answer is here. So again, I would take another screenshot. I'm back to my tool. Alright, my snipping tool. So I'm going to click that snipper and draw my rectangle around my answer, And now I'm going to go back to the Microsoft Word document. Okay, and I'm going to look for the part where I'm going to do an angle. So copy an angle, that's part B right here. So I'm going to try to paste this right here. Boom. And there it is. Let's see, and you can play around with the formatting to make it look better. And again, you can make the picture smaller. And like I said, if you really want to be cool about it, you can adjust this guy and pick this option to move with text. Or wait, I thought that was going to be, yeah, in front of. Alright, and now I can put it wherever I want. Alright, so basically you're just going to do that over and over again. Go through each activity and take a picture of it and paste it into the document.
Construct a perpendicular line through a point not on the line. Don't forget to take a screenshot of your construction to enter into your worksheet.
Now, what if you don't have the snipper tool? Maybe you're on a different kind of computer and you just don't have that tool available to you. Well, you can still take a screenshot and that'll be just as good. Again, unfortunately, everybody's computer works a little bit differently. So I'm hoping that at some point along the way you have learned how to take a screenshot on your particular computer. On my computer, near the top of the at the top of the keyboard on the right hand side, there's a button that says print screen. It's abbreviated, so it just says PRNTSCRN, print screen. And on my computer I have to hit the function button and hit the print screen button at the same time. So if I hit function and then print screen, I think I've just copied that image. So back to the Microsoft Word document, I'm going to paste what I've just copied, and on my computer I can just do Control V to paste. And so this time it didn't do a nice neat little rectangle like the snipping tool does. It just prints the entire screen. But that's okay. Now when you do this, it's going to mess up the formatting. I've got giant spaces here. It's not a big deal. You can just delete extra spaces. Just play around with it to make it look okay. But basically that's what it is. So you just do that over and over again, pasting everything that you see. Alright, so at this point I've gone on and pasted the images throughout the rest of the document. Just make sure as you go that everything matches up. So in this question, construct a perpendicular line through a point on the given line. And then you see the title here, construct a perpendicular line through a point on the line. All of the activities in the software are not in order, the same order that's on this paper. So you have to actually read and pay attention to what you're pasting to make sure it matches. Construct an angle bisector. Constructing an angle bisector. Each one should match. Let's see if there's one more. Construct a perpendicular bisector. Constructing a perpendicular bisector. Just make sure they match. Now, of course, I haven't actually done these activities, so they're blank, but you will have actually constructed a perpendicular bisector, or whatever the activity was, and you'd have a nice little picture of your answer right here. Now remember, this is all part one of the performance task. So make sure you save this document. Alright, you don't want to lose all that hard work you just did, so just save the document and you can go ahead and close it. Alright, when you've completed all of these activities, you get to the last square, and it's this guy introducing part 2. I'm just going to play the first few seconds.
In this part of the assignment, you're going to be answering some questions about all of the constructions that you've worked so hard to make. To begin, you will download the assignment document. It's going to be a Word document, and after you've downloaded it, you can type your answers into it, or if your teacher prefers, you can print it out and write them by hand.
Okay, so yeah, that guy did a good job of explaining what comes next. Then you come to a screen that looks like this. And notice right here it says Student Guide again. So this is another Microsoft Word document. This is part 2 of your performance task. So obviously you're going to click on this and download it to your desktop or wherever you want to put it. And again, on my computer, it shows up here in the corner because I use Microsoft. I use Chrome, and this is how Chrome works. So I'm just going to open this, check it out. Okay, so you get this document. All right, Construction Student Guide. Now this is part 2. So if you have this document with this the picture of this guy on there, Euclid, then this is part 2 that you're looking at, and you need to make sure you also did part 1. So I'm just going to scroll through real quick so you can be familiar with what it is. All right, so in this document they're asking you questions where you're going to answer in words. So there's no screenshots or anything. You're just in words answering the questions that are here. Which step in the construction of copying a line segment ensures that the new segment has the same length as the original line segment? Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to say blah, blah, blah. Okay, but you wouldn't say blah, blah, blah. You would go ahead and type in your answers right here. And you can just go through the whole document, and every time they ask you a question, you can type in your answers. Blah. Well, blah to this too. Wait, that wasn't red. Maybe I was supposed to answer down here. Blah. I liked it better when it was red. Alright, anyway, you get the idea. You can type your answers right onto the document. Then go ahead and save the document. Now, I am going to go File, Save As. Like I did before, I'm going to go to my desktop. And again, I'm going to change the name of this a little bit. Constructions Performance Task Part 2. Okay, so I had part 1 that I did a minute ago, and now we've got part 2. Save. Alright, so imagine that I have typed in all my answers and I have saved this to my desktop. Now what? Well, you can go back to the Edgenuity program once again, and this time we want to add files. So I'm going to click this button right here that says Add Files. And I should be adding 2 files, the 2 documents, Part 1 and Part 2 that I just created. So I'm going to find my desktop, which is right here. And I have a lot of stuff on here. But here I have my documents. I have Constructions Part 1 and Part 2. Alright, looks like I can only do one at a time. So I'm going to first I'll do Constructions Performance Task Part 1. And on my computer I have to click Open down here. Okay, so I see that I've got Constructions Performance Task Part 1 appears listed underneath right here. Now I'm going to do that again. Add Files. Okay, I'm going to find the same thing, but this time Part 2. And I'm going to hit Open once again. And now I have Part 2. Okay, now that I have both files, I am going to hit Submit. So I'm going to hit Submit. And that is what submits your documents for me to grade. And so those will show up on my side of the computer system. And once you hit submit, that's what frees you to go on to the next activity. So you'll notice that your everything is locked and you're blocked and you can't get past until you upload those files and hit submit. Then you're free to go on to the next activity, and I will grade those documents later, and you can always look back and see how you did. But that is how you do it, people. I'm sorry it took a 20-minute video to explain this. I was hoping I could do it in like 5 minutes, but I did not see a way that I could do that. Many students have just been submitting one document or the other. Very few students have realized that this is a two-part performance task, and if you only submit one part, at best you're going to get a 50%. So cut it out. I need both documents. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.